Hey, welcome back to the Corbellic studio. We're going to be knocking out another painting today. This is going to be a Western theme, cowboy silhouette, blue skies, impressionism, real cool theme. It's going to be a little bit different compared to the other ones that I've done in the past. I always like to change it up. That way, if you change it up, you stay fresh, and then people always want to check back in. Even if it's a popular painting, and something that is a popular theme, you always want to change the themes up because not only the algorithm is going to reward you, but sometimes you just have your collectors and you have people who get bored of the same theme. It doesn't matter even if it's something super popular or anything like that. You just have to change it up, change your styles up, be versatile, be different, have fun with it. But also, more importantly, that way you're not bored of doing the same thing over and over. You could change up your style. You could do anything that you want. So this one's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more impressionism. It's going to be more thick layers of paint, and maybe it's going to be thick. I don't know, but we're just going to get in here. We're just going to have some fun, see what comes out of it. I give you permission to do the same thing. You've seen my videos before, and you know how we do the painting. We work off of the projector. I implore you to do the same thing. I have everything broken down, all the popular themes and things that you can paint. It's all into the eBay art community. So click the link below, tap in so you can see how you can get started doing the same thing. You can start selling art, making money next week. All right, no more talking. Let's paint. All right, so I don't know if you can see right here, but this is going to be our silhouette cowboy with the sunset in the background. This is going to be really cool. So in order for me to do my background, what I like to start on is I like to start with a larger brush. This is like a 1.5-inch brush right here. And this way it just lays on the background faster. You know, I mean, I could do this with the 1-inch as well that we get from Hobby Lobby. This is one of my favorite brushes just because it's synthetic and it's more firm. It's not as loose or light, but this one we could just be able to work fast and spread it fast. When it comes to art and confident strokes, you really want to try to focus on large brush strokes or large brushes. That way you can have the positive, confident strokes into your artwork, but also you just get the color already blotted in there as quick as possible. So let's start this off. I got my timer here so we can see how long we're going to work. We're going to try to work it within 10 to 12 minutes, but maybe it'll go on a little bit longer because I'm shooting this video with you guys, but let's try to knock this out, okay? Starting now. All right, let's just put a little bit of water on that brush because it's kind of dry. And let's start off with a little bit of light blue. All right, light blue, boom, look at this. And we're just going straight in there, no thoughts whatsoever. A little bit of white. You see those big positive brush strokes, and then we're gonna start going into the yellow. Now in the middle here, I want it to be light. So we're gonna do the white, but that's gonna be later on. Not later on, but that's gonna be like the last step. All right, so look, we're just doing this. And you see how much paint we're using? Just a little bit, look there, right? A little bit into that blue. A little orange. There's no thought. Now we could hit it up with the white in the middle. So that way we have our clouds. And we're not going to touch the other colors too much. We want to keep that white principle in the middle. That's like our cloud. That's our focal point. Look at that. And that's that. Now let's do, now I'm gonna actually change it up, and I'm gonna go to the 1-inch brush. So that way I can start doing the bottom, which is going to be like our sand or our dirt. It's going to be more the desert look. And you can just see I'm working this fast because you can't go wrong when it comes to these type of impressionisms, because the background is just the background. That's not really the principle. The principle is going to be our cowboy here holding these flowers. All right. And you want to do your backgrounds first. So that way, whatever's at the bottom, it comes up out of it. So here, I'm gonna do this lighter color. But like I said, this isn't art school or art course or anything like that. So I don't want to tell you how to paint because you already know how to paint. It's already inside all of us. You can't go wrong in whatever you want to do. So now that we have it like that, right? And you can just see how loose I am. Now I'm going to go with the darker color at the bottom. And let's do this one to be like a darker, like grass. Now you can see the image that I pulled up off of the projector. I created this image myself using an AI art prompt, which I can show you also in the art course where I show you how to pull it up, what software that I use to pull it up, what different types of prompts that you can play around with as well, and you can get some of these images. So that way you can do it yourself. No guessing in it. Look, but even though the projector one, it showed me like a dark brown color at the bottom, I'm gonna do this one like a dark grass. Like it's a grass look, all right? We're gonna do that. Like grass is coming through. Let's do a little bit more of the grass. All right, so you can see, let's do it a little bit lighter, hold on. Do it a little bit lighter. Now, yeah, now I do the dark grass first and then I lighten it up with like a lighter color, either a yellow or a cyan. Okay. Let's do a little bit more yellow. And then I can tell you what I was going to say, what we're talking about. All right, so you can see how I tried to do the background colors first, and then this would be last. That way the grass kind of comes through that color that we did. Now let's just do a little bit of the grass right here. It doesn't matter, right? Just a little bit of green. Like I said, we can't go wrong because now we can focus on the cowboy. This is the part that I really wanted to have fun with and get our real art on. Let's see here. Do we need to pull out the heat gun? I think we do. Let's pull out the heat gun just so we can dry off these edges a little bit. And that's the best part about working with acrylic, is that it dries very quick. We're gonna pull this heat gun out, which is my Wagner heat gun. Dry it off. It's only gonna take a couple seconds or so, and then we'll go in there with the Silhouette Cowboy, and we're basically done. All right, and there we go. So we dried that off really quick. Now we're just gonna go into our black, and we're just gonna do like a quick silhouette around the proportions. And then what I want to do, I want to touch in a little bit inside the silhouette. That way it's not just a complete black, but it's just going to be black around the proportional areas, the highlights. And then I'm going to go in with like some red, some blue, some different colors. It really doesn't matter. We can't go wrong. But let's just see what we pull up. All right, so look, this is going to be the cowboy hat. And look, we're still at 5 minutes. And even if you wanted to do the whole thing, even if we want to do this whole thing as black, like a black silhouette, we can still do that because we'll go back in just different areas. We'll touch in with some colors. So I think I'm going to end up doing that as well. All right, there we go. Look at that. Boom. All right, let's do, this is the cowboy. Like I said, we're just gonna go on the proportions on the outside. And that's the hand, right? The hand holding the flowers. Look at that. That's something completely different. We're just going to fill this in. And you could use the bigger brush to do this as well. I'm just going to fill this in all black because I already know that I'm going to dry this off, and then in some of the areas I'm going to fill it in with different parts of colors. All right, now let's get with our flowers a little bit, right? We're just going to fill in some areas like this. But then we're also going to make this colorful as well. Okay. Look. Boom. Okay, there we go. Now let's start touching up our flowers. Oh, I guess I should have used this brush, the 1" for the black. Oh well, that's fine. Doesn't matter. All right, now let's start doing our flowers. And when it comes to flowers, you can just really, we're just doing impressions anyways. So look, you see how I'm going about that? Now, let's go into like a darker green. And go over those black lines so we can have the green underneath. And I could have done this beforehand. Normally I would have. But like I said, there's no right or wrong when it comes to art. I'm still always trying to figure different things out myself. That's the fun part about doing art, is that even though we work off the projector, we're still having fun and we're still experimenting. We're not married to the projector. Some people have the wrong idea whenever I talk about using the projector. They think that we're talking about doing the exact image of the projector. That wouldn't be fun at all, and that defeats the purpose of what I'm teaching. Or not even what I'm teaching, but what I'm showing how to paint fast on eBay. If you're going to be married exactly to the projector, then that's just doing the same thing as of having a reference photo and try to be detailed. We're not being detailed here. We're just using our proportions from the projector and then doing what we want and experimenting with it. Having our own ideas, our own colors, and our own themes come out of it. You know, like look at this. This isn't from the projector at all. This is just coming from me. And whatever happens, happens. All right, let's lighten up some of those roses, right? Who would you say that he's giving these roses to? To his wife? Or maybe he's visiting a widow gunslinger that he executed out there on the prairie. Something like that, right? That's the cool thing I always thought about art when I was a kid, is that you could have an imagination and it could be anything. It's whatever your mind thinks about. Look at that. All right, now let's dry off that black silhouette a little bit, and then let's go in here with just a little bit of colors just so we can make it a little bit more lively. We're at 10 minutes. And boom, there. So now let's go into a blue, like a navy blue. Okay, let's do something like this. Maybe a light blue. And it's fine to go back and look at your reference photo wherever you're doing it from. That way you can have an idea of other proportions as well too. If you're not able to pull them up and you're not able to actually see it on your projector, you can always just look back. So that's what I do from time to time. Even though I'm referencing my proportions, I'm also looking back at time to time to see some of the proportions and things that I can go with. So let's do this. Right? And then Let's do like a dark brown on his hand. So like it's coming from here. Go back on that light blue. Let's use a dark purple. I don't know. You know my motto, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But then on to the next one. Now that's the fun part. Would you look at that? Let's do the collar. And then let's do blue. All right, now let's turn the lights on, and then you could go from there where you would want the design to be. I'm gonna make some of the silhouettes a little bit darker. Like, now we could just play around. Like, look, there's some buttons, some lines there. Maybe let's do a button right here. Let's make a sun for our sunset, and then that's it. Let's make it a little bit lighter. And look, we'll add that sun in the fields. Look at that, right? Keep playing around with it. I'm gonna add just a dark red right here. And that's that. Now let's add our signature and we can be done with this. Boom. And there we have it. Our Impressionism silhouette cowboy. And you can see that for yourself. Look, there we go. All right, so you can do this yourself. Let me know what you think about this one. This is a cool one, just something different. Impressionism, holding flowers, sunset, cowboy, ready to go out there into the prairie and ready to get started with the day, or getting ready out there to hand them flowers off to the widow of the cowboy who he killed out there on the gunslinger range. All right, so let me know what you guys think about this one. Leave a like in the comments. Check on the link below so you can see how you could do this for yourself in the free eBay art community, and I'll check you out on the next video.